Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today on another pour. This is the straight edge live crystal mold that I will link below from Pouring Your Heart Out. I am placing a very well, actually, I'm going to need some of this, so I'm not going to do it all the way. I just realized I needed it for another pour, so I'm going to do less. So this is, I did 3 ounces, so 1.5 A and 1.5 B, and I just have a little bit left. And I will tell you a little bit more about this pour in just a moment. But what I'm going to do first, so block your ears, is to heat gun it. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this. So this is, I used the Kisrel epoxy resin. It's a 1-to-1. So I did, 1-to-1. And I'm using this Let's Resin alcohol ink set of 48 pieces. It has all the colors that Tony, yes, I will tell you about him in just a moment. Resin by Tony. I found him on Julie's Facebook group, and you know what? I'm gonna torch it again. Still, really bubbly. Probably because it's cold here. And anyway, I asked him directly if I could replicate what he did, and he said absolutely. So I'm going to do. Now he may have used a larger mold, the larger version of this one. So I'm not sure. So the first thing I'm going to do is do his colors. And it's almost like, I don't know what else I would substitute the colors with, because he's almost using all the colors. So first is 2 drops of the dark orchid. And I'm going to try and remember to put these in, leave these bottles in the order that he did them. And this is a Petri effect, which I have a little difficulty with, but I'm going to try it because it also is combining the Petri with a bloom. Now, did you see how all that came in? So Tony says you drop and then you wait for the alcohol ink to close in before you put in your next color. Otherwise, they muddy. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient this time. I have tried this before, and I got too much sort of white blobbies. And, I may get it again, so who knows. So the next color is red. So in Tony's video, please watch, because he has a wonderful explanation of how these alcohol inks work and colors work that I thought was wonderful. So let me see, that's going to move in, so I'm going to put it in between 2 as well. See how they come in? So the rest of the video is going to be to a time lapse, because I'm going to have to wait each time for the colors to, the alcohol inks to come in, and some take longer than others. So I will follow the colors that Tony did, put you on a time lapse, and come back to you with a talk after that. All right, so now in here, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it, is the Cinco White that I am really mixing really well. This is where the fun part comes, but also the nerve-wracking, challenging part. So it's still coming in. That's okay, because we'll just keep filling it. Now, oops, pull the nozzle up. So now I'm just going to do like I do a spiral, a 3D bloom, where I just add these little dots in between. And it's so fun to watch the colors play and do really fun stuff. So then they close again. So then you just keep doing it. Now, I did this, but I had some, sort of white streaks. So I don't know if you can put too much of the Cinco White. I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna, do the dark spots and just continue on my spiral journey here. And once again, put you on a time lapse for the rest of it. And then I'll come back for a background. But I'm just going to keep putting the Cinco White. All right, so I think I'm supposed to, ooh, that got a little dark there. So I added a little bit more on the edge. Oh, this is coming out really thickly now. I'm going to stop, but I did want to show you the Let's Resin Cinco White box. Oh, this is coming out really fast. So I'm just going to fill in. I guess it's not to have any black spaces, although I suppose I could leave it. And maybe that's why I had trouble with my first two. But I'm just going to leave it at that. But for Let's Resin, if you get their Cinco White box, you get the Cinco White in these two containers, a little filter, and these great nozzle tops. So anyway, I will let that sit for maybe an hour and 15 minutes like Tony did, and then come back to the next step. So unfortunately, I didn't put enough color on the edge there. You'll see some blank spaces, so it's not going to look very pretty at the end. So I took a toothpick and tested to see if it's, ready to draw on. And then I used my dotting tool, only because I was just too afraid to use my toothpick, that I would go too far down. Because I do want to go down, but not too deep. So I thought I'd be safer off, or better off, using my dotting tool. And I did this at not a time lapse, so that you can see how slowly I'm moving. Now I have to warn you, I did get some blobbies at the end, so I'm hoping to reach out to Tony to see if any of you know, when you see the final results, please let me know what I can do to improve the Petri effect with not so many blobs, and you'll see what I mean. So I do the spiral into the center, as you'll see, very slowly and carefully. Then you'll see that I do the 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, etc. Now, when I show you the reveal, you'll see that there is a Petri effect happening, but I don't know why I have this sort of extra layer of little bits of sinker white. So I don't know if it's that I didn't wait long enough, or because I'm, drawing on it, or versus just leaving it alone. When you do the Petri effect, you do it in those little pockets of pendants of molds, and then you just put your resin, you drop your ink, and then you drop your sinker white, and then you use your tool to carefully, swirl around. But maybe this is because I'm drawing, quote unquote, a bloom, it's affecting it. But I'm not doing something correctly. So just bear with me. So I'll just continue doing this, and then I do the pulling out on the different sections, and then I'll see you for the next step. So that turned out nice. There's a little bloom and pattern going, and I like the colors. That was the Resiner's chameleon powder that I chose, and I think it was red, purple, and blue, I think. And I'm putting it into some resin that I mixed up, and I mixed up probably 50 grams for this one because I used less in the first, first layer. I'm catching a cold or getting over one, so excuse me. So anyway, that sure looks pretty, and I think with the Petri you don't see it on this side, you see it on the other side, and then I added a little espresso to make it a little darker. I didn't want black for my background. I wanted something different. So anyway, I mixed those two up, put in a little bit more espresso, and then I poured it over the top, and then I will see you for the unmolding. I don't know, no matter how much I stir, very seldom do I not get those little blobs on my mica powder. It's really difficult to have them disappear. All right. I've got to clean up this mold. So let's see what happened here. Oh, oh, so many blobbies, but I did get the Petri. So I will have to ask Tony how to take care of that. Not waiting long enough, or not sure, but oh, it does work, the Petri. So I wonder if it's less white. Oh, I'm going to have to try this again. And yep, I did need to go to the edge. So third try, not too bad, but I don't like those little blobbies there. But I don't know if you can see the Petri. I can. Okay, doke. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.